Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to December 21st. Yeah, almost sounded like she was cranking a little slow there. Turn that off. Turn that down. Do that. How y'all doing? A little chilly out there. Of course, the car says 37. The house inside said it was 33 outside. How's your view looking? I'm going to get you readjusted here just a little bit. Hold tight. There we go. A little more conducive to what I'm hoping to get. And it swings the camera closer to the windshield and doesn't block as much. Oh, come on. The coat's bunching up now. It's going to be a miserable day. There we go. Give the car a couple of minutes to build up a little bit of heat. Clean off the glasses. Yeah, 21st of December. 4 days until Christmas. Hopefully y'all are being good. And Santa Claus will bring you what you want from your list. I myself didn't put much of a list together this year, as most years, because I've already got a house full of stuff. Oofta. A little icy out there. There's a water drain on the neighbor's house to my left of the screen, and it's always running. It's almost like an overflow from the park, so it's washing out over the road with the wet weather we've been having lately, and looks like it froze up and slushed over, and that's not the good. And we're supposed to be cold for the next several days. Hopefully we don't get some bozo flying around the corner and smash into the fire hydrant and Cletus and the car. A couple days ago I came out and those same people with the drain, they're getting cable installed in their house. Well, we don't have cable that runs past my house. The junction box is on the house to the right. They live one house to my left, so they wound up having to dig. It's got water splashing off their tires. That was them driving by the way. But yeah, they had to trench across the front of my property. They didn't dig up the driveway, luckily. They just bored underneath it. But they put everything back pretty good. The pavers where I parked the 84 right now, they're kind of sunk down a little bit. I may have to go back and take care of that. But it's always going to happen when you dig. You're going to get some settling. I did get the business card of the company that was doing it, so if it's too bad, I'll just call them up and make them come out and repair it, but I think we'll be okay. They did pretty good with the gravel on the other side by the fire hydrant, so. Alrighty, we got some defrost action going. We've been running for a few minutes. I'll turn the fog lights on just because I can. Gently pull out onto the potentially slippery surface here. Do a brake check. Oh yeah, she's a little slick. We're sliding. And we're straightening out. It's got just enough running water that it's not solidly frozen. So the significance of today, December 21st, it's the last scheduled work day at the Boeing Everett plant. So that means I'm off work until January 2nd is when I have to go back. Spent a little bit of time with the folks over the Christmas break. And then back to goofing off. seeing what we can get into. I don't know how much I'm going to get done on the Jimmy. Kevin has said he wants to work most of this break. I usually don't head out to his place if he's not there. But we will see. This morning's release was loading the drivetrain into the chassis of the Jimmy. Got another video I just realized I hadn't put together yet, so I'll be doing that probably tonight or tomorrow. Get that released for you. I don't think I've already done it. And then you guys will be caught up with the status of the Jimmy. Question I had asked of me through YouTube was about the torque converter. No, we did not fill it when we put it on, because we couldn't find anything that told us to fill it. And I believe for this application it fills itself through the transmission. But I don't know, I think I would have felt better if we would have filled it, but it's a little late now unless we want to tear everything back apart. I'll have to ask that to Kevin again when I see him next time. Just, I'd like a confirmation. I bought a bunch of trans fluid. I'll have to go back through the book too and see what it says, but it didn't say anything about filling the torque converter. It just talks about filling the transmission. And I'm not fully versed in how those parts all work together. But I'm assuming the torque converter gets its fluid through the center shaft from the transmission, the input shaft there, because there is a seal. So I don't know. And I'm assuming the torque converter's got to have a constant flow of fluid. It doesn't want to be having its own fluid locked up, and you got to have it going through the transcooler and the filters. In hindsight, yes, I probably should have put some in there. I mean, I always pre-fill my oil filters before I put them on the motor, so you're not running that thing dry for that couple of seconds it takes to fill it. But I'll go back through the books before we get too crazy. And in actuality, it's just bolted in right now. There's nothing else hooked up, so if we had to pop it apart, just 4 bolts. And now the car says it's 34, so the house wasn't too far off. Supposed to be weather kind of like this up until, I think, Christmas Eve. Now we get some rain and snow coming in. Or no, tonight. I think tonight and then tomorrow. They're calling for snow. Hey, Old International. Woohoo! Was that the International Suburban? This wasn't the carry-all. It might have been the carry-all. Hey, traffic. And a little more traffic. And one more traffic. And here's another one. I think we're going to go for it. Hang on. Doofus behind the wheel. Yeehaw, there's 55. Blowing the frost off the roof. Mr. Super Duty behind me never caught up, so we're good. We're about halfway between the car in front of me and the truck behind me, so. Pretty view across the valley there, though. A little frosty, a low-hanging cloud over the water. The Olympics poking up on the other side. Bathed in a little bit of sunlight with fresh snow on top. I'm sure a lot of you have been following the Amtrak derailment that we had here. That's down around the Olympia area. Driven through that same spot many, many, many times over my life. I don't know if I go down with the brother or something, maybe if we're on I-5, we'll get a quick video of what it looks like now. They opened all lanes this morning. They got the locomotive off the, oh, got a car coming here. They got the locomotive off the roadway yesterday. All 270,000 pounds of it. That was a brand new locomotive too. I forget who makes that, but it's called the Challenger. I want to say they're built, Siemens is who makes that, that's right. I think those were built in Sacramento. Washington State DOT ordered a handful of them, I don't remember exactly how many. Yeah, brand new diesel locomotive. Destroyed. Not to mention the lives of those 3 people. I forget what it was. A handful of cars and semi-trucks got hit on the freeway down below as well. No fatalities from that, but a bunch of injuries. One little shot of a little Kia Soul just demolished. Yeah, it must have been quite the scary sight. And now Amtrak has come out and says, oh yeah, we're going to make sure you have positive train control in the state of Washington, the entire statewide, all passenger equipment. I'll have that beforehand. Ooh, traffic. Love it. $35 down here. One thing they're not addressing is, why didn't the engineer know that route? Well, he knew the route. He's been running that train on that route for at least a few weeks, if not a couple of months. They've been doing test runs, and they don't just take a piece of track and throw a train on it and fill it with passengers and say, here you go run it. But there was a conductor on board in the cab who was learning the route. So that's something they're looking into. Was there a distraction? Was the engineer looking at the conductor talking about stuff and missed the 30-mile-an-hour speed sign? Which is where PTC, or Positive Train Control, would have come in. It would have taken over the braking of the train, or at least would have notified him, hey, you've got a speed zone up ahead. Start hitting the brakes. And if he didn't respond, it would have hit the brakes for him. And I think they just stopped the train. I don't think they even just slow it down. They come to a complete stop and they have to reset everything. And basically, Mr. Engineer has to call into dispatch that and say, hey, PTC activated and train stopped. Got to clear it. And then dispatch gets to say, well, how come the train stopped? Get her in a 6th gear here. Pretty nasty accident, but it seems to be all too frequent around our region. I'm really impressed with Japan and their rail infrastructure and network. If you've ever watched any videos of of a Japanese rail train driver going down the route. Look at how they act. Very formal at the controls, and every time they come up to a sign or a signal, they have to point at it. And then I think they have to point at the speedometer or at the control that would require, activation if there was a need. So if there's a speed sign coming up, he has to point at the sign, he has to point at the brakes, and then he has to apply the brakes. Unfortunately, here in America, a little too arrogant for stuff like that. And it would just make too much sense. But it would sure drive the recognition of the signage and the signaling system. Not saying that all train operators need that, but still. Pretty sure nowadays, engineer or conductor in a locomotive, freight or passenger, if they see a signal, they're still supposed to call it out, and it's supposed to be verified by the other guy. Just have to wait and see what the outcome is of this. That engineer is going to be under a whole lot of scrutiny for a while. I'm sure there'll be lawsuits against him from the family members of the injured and deceased as well. But back to work, one more day. Pretty boring today. This week's been pretty slow. Not a whole lot of people out, but that guy driving that, whatever that is, that refuse truck there, just needs to back off. Something that big, you do not tailgate the car in front of you. He's driving like a moron. That is not a professional driver. Curb sorter. Vehicle stops and backs often. Truck number 165. I wish I could get a license number off of it, but that is not how you drive a vehicle like that. Well, look at the traffic on southbound there. Yeah, we made our delivery commitment for the 787 this year, plus 2 over. So that was a good push. I think we delivered 8 7s out of Everett this year, or this month. I don't remember what the total was that we did for the year, but we've got over 600 of them in the air right now. Kind of neat. Last big meeting we had with the big boss of the 87 program, he was telling us that United Airlines, their last 2 airplanes that they picked up from us here in Everett, they picked them up, took them on a 15-minute ferry flight to Seattle-Tacoma International. Took, I don't remember what it was, 2-3 hours for them to load all the little in-flight magazines and the safety cards and get the food and beverages on board and load their pillows and whatnot, and that airplane was in service in less than a shift from taking delivery. They had that airplane in revenue service. So we're doing pretty good. And we'll see what next year brings. Of course, Payne Field, where we launched the 87, we've had 3 small aircraft wrecks this year. We had the one from a few months ago that made the news nationwide, where the plane lost power and kind of banked off to the side a little bit and caught I think it was a traffic light, ruptured the fuel tank, big ball of fire, crashed on a side street, and everybody walked away from it. A couple of cars on the ground got hit, but there was dash cam footage from that. And then we had 2 on one day here just a couple of weeks ago. No fatalities in either one of those, but one of those was I know it was a rental plane from a rental company. The union guy that sits right next to me, he's a private pilot, and he's flown that very airplane. Alrighty, let's get see what parking's like here. About an hour early for the second shift parking to be open, but we'll see if a lot of first shift folks took the day off today. Take her nice and easy going around the corner here into the parking lot, as there's always a wet patch. Usually under the bridge. Oh, they got the de-icer sprayed down, so a little bit of water leaking from the curb there on the left. Sand on the road too, so they've been preparing. Usually right under here stays shaded all day long, so it stays pretty icy at times. We're pretty good today. We had rain 2 days ago. Was it raining yesterday? I don't think it was. So things got a chance to dry out a little bit. The patterns in the clouds up there over the little walking bridge, kind of looks like rays coming down. I wonder if there's a little precipitation up there. Looks like one stream over on the left there that goes down quite a ways. A little freezing rain or snow up there. Water on the roadway here. Looks wet though. Sounds wet. There is ice there though. Turning slushy. That's kind of weird. That one spiral going up into the clouds there, and the rays coming down. That's probably about where the sun is. Alrighty, well, we got lots of openings in the back parking lot. There's a big commercial truck taking off over there. Possible 8.7 by the wing shape. There's a spot right there I could take. Holy cow, it's an hour before this place opens. And there's people already lining up for second shift parking. There's people trying to get out too. You know what, there is a really nice spot down here we're going to snag. Unless we see something better along this row, but there's one there, but we're not going to worry about it. This should get me out of here about 7 o'clock tonight. Still get a full day's worth of work. It's kind of funny that there's people in the second shift parking lot already. But the gates are all closed. So did they sneak under? Oh, this guy's gonna put my blinker on because I'm taking that spot. Won that fair and square. Swing her around, watch the Hyundai behind us. Close enough. Alrighty. Let's go finish our last day of the year. if anything exciting kicks up, I'll bring you back. Otherwise, you all have a wonderful evening. We'll see what we can get into for the holidays for you. And we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.